Hello, Internet. How is everyone doing tonight? How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, ready to get at it.
Great.
Excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, a couple of quick housekeeping things before we get into it. Barf, how you doing? Alrighty, quick shout out for Stream Beats. Background, it's DRM free music you can use for your streams, YouTube videos, that type of thing. It's actually nice, great chill music. Going and it's what we're listening to right now is for our intro and closing music. And then there's a shout out and a thank you to Sirenscape. Check out sirenscape.com for information and their online players for use in creating engaging environments for your tabletop games, whether it's a cyberpunk game, a D&D game, or just a board game like, you know, Eldritch Horror. It's all the fun. So go check out sirenscape.com to learn about more. I want to do a shout out to for Patreon. If you like the content we're making, head over to patreon.com/scuba studio and consider joining as a patron there. You get some perks and benefits like some behind the scenes stuff, sneak peeks on stuff I'm working on, as well as early access to the videos that we post up on YouTube. Last week was a big drop of content. This week will be considerably less because, you know, I'm caught up and everything's good to go. So you can check that out and consider being a patron. Patreon is the best way to support the studio going forward as we continue to grow and evolve and do all of the things. As the last bit, I want to shout out to the community. You guys are awesome and amazing. Thank you for your support thus far. Shout out and a thank you to the moderators in the chat, because without them, I'd probably go completely crazy. And a thank you to the cast for spending their Saturday night here to play some D&D. Not that I really had to twist their arms, but I don't want to be unappreciative either way. Oh, give it up, give it up, Titus. You know. So yeah, I'm a little tired. It's been a long week, really long week. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got. How about you guys? How are you guys doing? Anything interesting for your Saturday so far?
Recovering from a long D&D session yesterday, so I'm ready to go.
Okay, how long was this session?
Well, yeah, it was until after midnight.
Oh, okay.
Around like 6:30, and we stayed up till about midnight.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
5.5 hours, and I was done.
Hey, and a couple of us stayed up till 3 in the morning after that.
Yeah, my wisdom save was a little better, I think.
Oh, I didn't even roll a wisdom save. What are you talking about?
I think the charisma goes down in situations like that.
Oh yeah, 6-hour D&D game. Been there, done that. Totally understand. I think we counted up the hours.
Buddy's out of jail. What do you expect? I mean,
I think we counted up the hours. The Twilight's Gleaming, which was that charity one shot last August.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Added that up. That was just over 8 hours continuous play.
mm-hmm.
And then added up the time for the webs battle for Shadow Watch, and that was roughly the same amount of time for one battle as opposed to one whole one shot. So it's like it was like,
that was a really big battle.
It was really big.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Shadow Watch 10 a.m. Saturday morning, so it was fun. Nice having a new cast member or guest, regular, semi-regular. No, we'll see what happens. And then of course we have this group of wonderful individuals to carry on and kind of to be completely honest, I have no idea what direction we're going to go tonight. Literally. So we will figure that out.
Sounds cool to me.
That's right.
We will figure out what direction we will go.
North is always good.
North, south, east.
Really high up where it's really, really cold.
Yeah. polar bear cold.
No biggie there.
Well, if you keep going north, sooner or later you have to start going south, because you've already gotten to the top of north, right?
Yeah, it makes sense in a round world.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, totally. But so to bring it in, kind of recap where we're going. You guys had all met up in the I look at my you all have met up in the town of Squall's End. It's a small little port town along the coast, the Sword Coast, similar region in Kofin. On kind of the kind of one of the larger continents. It's a small little port town. It's got a population of about 4,000. It's really kind of spread out. There's the port itself isn't very large. It typically gets like 1 or 2 sailing ships at a time. A lot of the commerce is trade coming off the ships or being loaded, a cargo being loaded on, and there's a mine nearby called the I lost it. Fogcrest. There's a Fogcrest mine and outpost, roughly about 10 miles from town. While in Squall's End, Titus, Pearl, and Maze traveling with Pearl, or meeting up with Pearl, because she had got wind there was some of a sighting of a Vistani caravan that had come to the area. She was trying to take a look to see if she can get some information. While there, they met up with Carolee, who had an interesting adventure in the town of Saltmarsh, which is a few days travel south of their Squall's End. And Carolee had come there as just pure happenstance, so to speak. And while they were all in the town, they came across another individual, Nin, who was being harassed by a group of dwarven thugs. Some negotiations, I guess is the right word for it. And
some more aggressive than others.
A little bit.
Hey,
I
now.
look pointedly at Maze.
After
It wasn't me for once.
No, it wasn't Pearl. It wasn't Pearl this time. She actually was trying to diffuse the situation.
See?
And overall it worked. So then the group went off to Fogcrest mine to kind of take a look and follow up, because they had heard rumors about some trouble at the mine. Some people had disappeared and were looking for some help. One of the city council, the blacksmith who happens to own the mine, had said that he would pay each of the party members 100 gold if they would go to the mine, find whatever trouble is there, and take care of that trouble. Arriving in the mine, they found a bully, which is a underdark creature that occasionally comes to the surface for hunting. And they had come across it, killed it, and then had spent the night at the outpost as a thank you. They got to have a nice warm meal, sleep in the bunkhouse, and were coming in the following morning at Fogcrest Mine. How are you guys feeling? What are you thinking?
Feeling shorter.
That'll happen when you've been enlarged for a little bit. Don't let it get to your head.
So I asked Nin that thing. So do you have no control over your spells, or do you know what you can do but you just can't control when it comes out, or do you not know anything at all?
Well, I just don't quite know what happened to me, to be honest, Carolee. I sometimes get an inkling of what I can do, but it just comes out sometimes without me willing it to come out. I just don't know what exactly will happen with the spells I do. Some of them I'm pretty good at controlling the water and fire, but that's all part of my circus act. So I've been practicing those since I came out of the forest. And I don't know what happened in the forest before. I don't know where I came from. Don't know anything like that until I walked down nearby river and found a few settlements, and then I seem to be able to clear my mind every once in a while and have water do funny things, or have fire and do funny things. I even can use a how would I call it? Use a hand that comes from me to lift up light things or help guide pick up papers or something like that. So I know what those do, but as you saw with the bullies, that just came right out of me. I didn't know that was going to happen, except I got like a second warning to try to warn you to stay back.
I had tried restoration right before he slept, and it didn't really do anything for his condition. And
No.
Tried on it. Okay.
No, try up a little bit of the oozy bit around my ears, but that didn't last long.
Okay.
Real quick, Nin, you have a D4 inspiration you could use at some point during the session tonight.
All right, thanks
as a
very
gift,
much.
as a gift from the tricksters.
Way to go, Trickster.
Can I insight whether or not he's got control? Like when he was saying that whether or not he had control or not, can I insight whether he was telling the truth on whether he had control or not?
All right, go ahead, roll an insight check.
14.
In, if you are trying to be deceptive, go and roll a deception check. If not, how do you want to? How do you feel about the situation?
No deceit. In this situation, I'm being as honest as I can be. Yeah. So nothing deceitful coming out of my mouth, or I believe everything I'm saying.
And that was the same, because when we were in combat that time, those things came out. I made an insight check. It was the same thing. Like, it seems to really believe what he says. So,
Nin, do you remember a time where you had control?
No, I don't remember anything before 6 months or a year ago. I don't know where I was or what I was doing. I know my name's not really Nin. It's what the circus people call me. And I don't know what that means either, but they seem to say it Nin and then Law. They call me Nin Law. And it's apparently Elvish, but I don't speak Elvish, so at least I don't think I speak Elvish. I don't remember any time since when I had control, just that some of these minor powers came out of me when I was walking along or spending time in a village, and would freak people out, and they would basically either try to get me to do harm to somebody else or try to make money off me being some kind of freak show, or they would run me off with pitchforks and brooms and stuff like that.
Had you ever seen anyone like yourself with that situation at the circus or whatever they were?
No, nothing. Never seen anyone like me. I mean, I've heard of magic before, but I never, I heard of magic somewhere, but I've never known it to come from me or anybody who was a wizard or anything like that.
It's certainly strange, my friend.
It is strange and disturbing too. I sometimes have dreams in which I'm walking down a forest path somewhere, and suddenly something comes out and grabs me, or sometimes I'm flying and I just don't know what it even means.
Forgive me if you've already said this and I just missed it, but why all the bandages?
Oh yes. Well, certain times when I seem to have these spells or powers come from me, it would cause the pores, I think, on my neck to get wet and stringy, almost like you blew your nose. I know that's gross, but blew your nose, and I had like a collar of it and some other parts of my arms, and that really made people afraid of me. So I decided to put on these robes and bandages to make sure no one would be able to see that.
That's a wise choice. Wise choice.
I thought so.
Pearl, what's your character feeling during this conversation?
Oh, after she got her answer, she was satisfied, or like just after she did the insight, she's like, okay, and she's kind of bored, so she went over to the because I'm guessing we're like in a tent or something, right?
It's kind of a you think of like an old ranch kind of bunkhouse. It's an actual wood. It's an actual structure. It's got bunk beds. It's got a kind of a communal eating area, and then leads outside into kind of the courtyard area that's behind the palisade.
Okay. Are there more than one bunk bed in the room that we're in?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of a communal thing. There's like the two is like bunk beds kind of spaced out to where people can just crash in between shifts.
Yeah. So she's just gonna kind of use her claws and climb up the post of the bunk bed and kind of walk across the top of the bunk bed, and then kind of jump to the next bunk bed and go across it. And just kind of wander around like because she's bored.
Give me an acrobatics check.
I knew it. I knew you'd call me on that.
God, I'm totally calling you on it.
It's a 9.
So as you guys are having this conversation, you see Pearl had climbed up, Titus out of the corner of your eye, because you know if Pearl is not kept busy, she gets into trouble. You see her climb up one of the beds, kind of position herself, and just go to hop from one from the top of one bunk bed to the other, but she doesn't quite make it. And you hear the thump, thump, thump as she falls down onto the ground.
Huh.
I'll look to Nin and I say, don't worry, this happens a lot.
Okay. I
start to rush over to Hiller, and I stop, and he says that. And I look, and I go, and I shrug my shoulders.
Pearl, are you okay?
Sure. And she'll kind of like rub her hiney where she landed and stuff. Like, yeah, I'll be good. She just starts climbing up the bed again.
So,
cat people like you normally like this?
Family was. We like to wander all over the place. It's a lot of fun. Of course, Titus doesn't really like to wander with me, and I don't know why. I still haven't figured that out. He never has really answered why he doesn't want to follow me when we wander. That's what we do. We wander around and explore and go to new places, and you don't go down the same road. That's just no fun.
He just pulls out the rope, just...
No. She kind of pushes herself back to the back of the bed because she's on top of the bed again.
I see. If I could understand most of that, I'm sure I would be.
Yeah.
Stu, but I can't remember. Were we supposed to? So we slept here.
Yep.
Were we supposed to go meet them somewhere to get like the payments or something like that? I can't remember.
You'd have to go back to town and speak with the blacksmith again.
Okay.
Can I do either history or a nature check to see if I am familiar with what race or sort of person that Nin is? Because I don't think he's told it us yet.
Nin has pointy ears that come out of his hood, out of his big cowl.
Okay.
But they're not real pointy. They're sort of in between human and elvish ears.
Go and do a nature check, Titus.
Uh, 16.
Looking at Nin's features, despite what bandages are there, you can see human features like yourself. But then there's also the fact that the complexion's a little, the muscle structure and the bone structure is a little bit different. It's more like elf, so it leads you to summarize that he's a half elf.
Okay.
He's pretty gaunt, though, for a half elf. He's on the smaller side.
Mm-hmm.
While all of this is going on, Maze is just kind of sitting on the floor, leaned up against one of the bunk beds, flicking light off and on in her hand, just watching it. And she'll just speak up and say, "It means wet ears.
What?
Your name, what they call you.
Me?
It means wet ears."
Well, that's not very nice.
We can give you a new name. I like picking names. And she's like now hanging like just her head over the top of the bunk bed, watching Maze flicking the light on and off, just kind of twitching her tail back and forth.
Exactly. I'm not. I guess maybe they saw my ears glisten or something like that, but that just doesn't seem to be. Am I wrong? Is that nice?
It could be new, like wet behind the ears. It could mean that you're naive, or it could mean just that you have the mucus all over you. And your ears
Maybe. Yeah. The people at the circus wouldn't be that mean to me. But then, they sometimes seem to laugh when I go past, but I just thought that was because they like the tricks I can do. I hope
A lot
that's
of people
what it
laugh
is.
at me, so I don't know. Maybe that's normal.
So we didn't have anything else here other than just kind of we were here. So if we don't have anything else to do, or I guess I can go and let's go ask them. I don't know what you guys want to do, but why don't we go ask them if there's anything else they need in the mine? And if not, I think I'm just gonna head back. We'll just head back to town, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys want?
It's better than sitting here on the bed and avoiding that rope. And she'll kind of look at Titus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, put it away. That's a good idea.
You guys,
This morning, yeah.
you exit the bunkhouse, and it's morning. There's a little more activity. Obviously, word overnight about the fact that the caverns that were the sections of the mine that were dangerous are now a lot more secure. So the foreman is wasting no time in getting those areas shored up and getting production back up to where it needs to be for that. And he expresses his thanks again when he sees you guys had come out.
Well, you're quite welcome. And is there anything else we can help you with while we're here?
Takes a moment, kind of thinks, and goes, "Actually, yeah. Would you guys mind taking that shipment of ore to the blacksmith in at Squall's End to it's ready for processing, and he handles all the processing there."
Yeah. I see no problem with that.
Are the rocks shiny?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of rough ingots that have been partially it's a lot of ore bits that have been partially processed. Some are ingots. It's a wagon with a couple of draft horses set up on it. So plenty of room for you guys to load up on and kind of take the cart into. I mean, if you like playing with rocks, Sure, you probably play with rocks.
Yes, I like rocks.
Please do not encourage them.
Yes.
I go and I pick up some of the iron ore and start kind of like rubbing it against each other to make a fine powder or dust from the iron ore.
Right.
Just kind of
I look at Nin and
fascinating.
say, Nin, this isn't our stuff. You might want to put
Oh.
that back.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
it's paid for from these guys.
Yeah, but it's
And right as you
Maybe
say
don't
that,
do
Pearl will
that.
drop the one that she had.
And I'll say sure, and I'll go ahead and climb up on the cart and say I can drive this if you guys want me to.
all right.
Can I ride with you? I want to be with the horses. I like horses.
Yeah, as long as we don't have to pick it up because I'm not that strong.
Just kind of like, like hops up onto the thing using her claws to kind of like do it quicker,
So I think for a minute I'll just start going unless somebody stops me.
Hey, you guys load
I
up.
like him. Or I like her. She goes right away. Bye, guys! As we're riding away.
Hey, it works.
I'm just staring at the iron ore dust that I managed to break off, just kind of oblivious otherwise.
All right. Maze, what do you do on the journey back to town? What's your character thinking?
She's just kind of going with the flow right now, riding her broom, keeping an eye out for anything weird looking along the way, and yeah, just she's here.
He's there?
He's not even distracted by the broom. He's so fixed on it. He's like, oh yeah.
All right. Titus, what are you doing while on the journey back?
I am keep my eyes peered to the path behind us, watching the mine disappear into the distance, and keep an eye for anything else, and thinking how much faster I want to get back to the blacksmith.
Alrighty. So, couple hours pass. A lot faster riding the cart back than it was walking out to the mine. And you eventually come into town. The late morning, and you kind of head over to the blacksmith's area. You see that it's actually in the town. It's actually a fairly kind of a large building. There's the forge and whatnot on the outside, on the forge area on the outside. Inside, there's some as you kind of bring the cart up under kind of an overhang and dismount. A couple people rush out to kind of help start offloading the ore and taking it inside so it could be further processed and smelted down for use. Looking about at the forge itself, you see a dragonborn, a red dragonborn, kind of with the apron and just pounding away at the forge.
Have I ever seen a dragonborn before?
Roll a history check.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll one too.
17.
Mine was a 15.
Yeah, Titus does not remember even what a dragonborn is. A 3.
Wow.
I traveled with
You've seen Dragonborn before.
Yeah.
So yeah, they come in different colors.
Yeah.
They're cool. Pearl, you've seen Dragonborn before. You're kind of familiar with them. There were a few that trained at the monastery that you were there. So you kind of seen them before. Nin, you've seen a couple of Dragonborn in the carnival you were traveling with. They were kind of doing a couple of different tricks.
Right.
Titus, in Barovia, you really don't see a lot of varying races. and you can't remember seeing a dragonborn to your memory, nor or the fact that. And you do. There are a few things in the journals of the paladin who trained you, mentioning some dragonborn. This particular one you all recognize. He's the blacksmith that hired you initially.
Oh, okay.
His name is Zelios. And as he's kind of right now kind of engrossed in his work. Zillalos, if you're trying to remember the spelling. For later.
And Nin here sees the forge and the fire, and he puts the iron ore into a pocket, and now he's focused on the red metal and the fire. Oh man. Wow.
Min. Back away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so much power.
I'm gonna insight that.
Go ahead.
Ah, come on. The one skill I'm good at, and I get an 8.
It's all the time.
I'm supposed to be really good at acrobatics, and I got a 6. So hey.
What is Nin's mental state when he sees the forge and being manipulated by Zalos and seeing the metal being worked and hearing that rhythmic hum of the hammer on the metal shaping it?
He's kind of like out of body experience, sort of. He's not really there anymore with you guys. I mean, he obviously physically is there, but mentally he's gone, and he's thinking, and something about the fire really draws him in. Fire.
I'm the opposite. I stay as far away from the fire as I can. And I say to Zillos, I say, well, sir, we cleared out the mine. There was a bullet problem there. It was a large creature that was eating the miners and collapsing the tunnels. And we were
we
able
patched your
to,
pity rocks.
yeah, we were able to solve that and take care of it. And they actually reopened up some of the mines, and that's why we brought this ore to you, because he said that you guys are all ready to start smelting it, because they're starting to ramp back up production again.
If you would have had fire, it would have been easier.
Yes, I say.
He after as you say this, he stops hammering with what he's working on and turns to look at you and sticks the tip of what appears to be a battle axe into the water to the oil to kind of let it cool, and puts the stuff down, turns to you, and he kind of smiles, this toothy grin is, excellent, I knew you were the ones to do this job. He goes,
Like being helpful.
so it's like, oh yeah, come in, let me get you sorted out. That's when you step in and you see inside this kind of large barn area several different tables and machinery for crushing the ore and putting it in, and these big kind of these other furnaces that are smelting it down. It's very hot in here, just inherently, and you guys are all kind of, as you come in there, and he kind of walks toward a back desk area while all these different people are working. You see a couple other dragonborn, you see some dwarves, and it's like some orcs and a couple other elves, all working, trying to keep this production going. And as you're in, after a few minutes, you guys are all starting to feel the heat and starting to sweat a little bit from this. Carolee, go ahead and give me a Constitution check.
That would be a 2, so I can't re-roll that. That's gonna be
No, but
for a total of 4.
so going in there, you're starting to kind of hyperventilate and panic a little bit, because there's like 4 of these huge furnaces that that they're going, and all this heat and all this stuff going on. You're like trying to keep as far away as possible, but just the ambient temperature in there and hearing the sounds of the floor of this all this metalworks has got you kind of in a or almost in a panic state.
I start, sweating, and I'm like, I need some air. Titus, could you? I trust you. And I just like bolt out of the
Carly, do you think I should go check on her? Maybe I
And
should
I
go
go
check on
outside
her.
and just,
She starts to head out to go check on her and kind of watching
I
Titus
just
as she
you
does.
see me just kind of bent over by the cart, just like hands on my knees, just trying to get my breath, shake it off, kind of meditating a little bit. Say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Just kind of like focusing myself.
Maze will look up at Titus and go, well, I guess if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Exactly what he does. Just
Yeah. If Titus doesn't stop her, Pearl will chase after Carolee.
no, I wouldn't stop Carolee from leaving.
Nin is getting closer to the fire again, and he's sweating profusely, but he doesn't seem to care at all.
Are your clothes and your bandages starting to steam a little bit?
A little bit, I think.
As he gets in there, he kind of then go ahead and give me a Constitution save as well.
Right.
Pearl will go out to Carolee and say, "Are you okay, Carolee?"
Huh. Well, it shouldn't affect me too much. 24. I got a natural 20.
You see you see the fire, and for some reason, unlike outside when it was the single dragonborn working the metal, you're not as engrossed in this because there are so many. Kind of like you have essentially kind of a sensory overload. You can't focus on any one, but you're kind of darting back and forth, and eventually it's too much, and you just kind of go back toward and follow Titus and Zelios and Maze.
And I just tell Pearl, and we're outside, I say, I'll be okay. I just need some air. You're fine. I'll be okay. You can go back in if you need to. I'll be fine.
Where's Carolee?
Just find out if
What
they need
happened?
anything else for us to do, if you would, please.
Huh.
What happened, Carolee? What made you come out?
Just a little too much fire. I just needed it's a little too hot.
Oh, you really don't like fire, do you?
So, I mean, it has its place, just not on me.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want it on me either. I mean, fur kind of burns really fast,
And
Well,
she
you're watching Carolee kind of subconsciously, as a reflex, kind of readjusts the bandages on the side of her face, and as it does that, it shifts, and you can see the scarring that's underneath those bandages. And this is, you think about this is like somebody who has, think about it in the same sense as somebody who has like a nervous tick or something. They're not actively doing it. It's just this is that trigger that this is how they're reacting to.
Yeah, my mask is a set, like a mask thing, but it definitely doesn't cover up. I mean, I when you see me move it, there's no question about the scarring.
What's the mask made out of?
It's probably be leather. It's an actual mat, like a mask.
Oh, okay.
It's part of my features thing.
Yeah.
As part of being the way of mercy, like we have different mask shapes, and so that's this one here. So it's probably leather, something like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, she just kind of watches you with the nervous tick, and just kind of goes, "Oh, okay," because she realizes now because she sees the scar. Okay, yeah.
And when you
If I can
say
do anything to help.
when you say that fur doesn't do well with fire, she just kind of says, "Neither does skin," and just kind of like under her breath, quietly.
I'm sorry, I didn't. Oh, okay.
So that's it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess I'm inside with Titus, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're inside with Titus, Maze, and Titus Maze following Zelios back to his kind of work, kind of a desk or office area, which is, it seems really weird with the amount of heat that's in here, and he's just kind of casual, like, you know, just another day in the office. But he goes in, goes to a little strong box, opens it up, counts out, set a pouch, and hands it over. It's like, as agreed. Here you go, 500 gold for the taking care of that problem up at the mine. Much appreciated, and I knew you'd be I had a good feeling about you. I knew you could do it.
Well, we're glad that we could be of help. I would rather that my whole party be in here, but there were some distressing things, a little too much fire. I see you're quite a strong lad to be able to handle it.
I'd call it a natural predisposition.
I see. So, is there anything else that we can help you with while we're in town?
Not really sure of any. Well, the lads will be getting the lads will be getting stuff together for upcoming shipment. For one of the ships to head across to one of the other head across the sea. But other than that, best you could just do is try to look about and see what's about town. If you want to try to make yourself useful, or if there's anything you're interested in the area, I could try to help you out. But
Mr.
right now, it's
Zelios,
just
Mr.
my
Mr.
lads need to
Zelios.
get stuff done.
Mr. Zelios, I can do something that might be useful. He puts his finger near one of the things and makes a twirl of flame that comes out and follows him using control flames. You see this? Isn't this useful?
He looks at you, kind of smiles as well. That's a nice little trick for lighting a room, but are you any good at smelting and making metals?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm good at. Can I try with a hammer?
Maybe another time. I'm sure there are other things that Zelios has to do. We don't want to take up too much of his time, do we?
That's true. Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Zelios.
Always happy to help my little friend.
Yeah, he's probably up there.
Yeah, he's that good 6-7 foot kind of definitely is the life of a blacksmith kind of build. He's like, well, you lads carry on, and if you need anything, just come back. If I happen to come across something I need, I'll be sure to look you up if you're still in town.
Very good, very good. One more thing. Would I perhaps be able to count on you if I needed to buy some more armaments in the future?
I believe we can work something out. Is there a particular set of equipment you have a fancy for?
Well, I can't say right now, but I might be in the market for a new sword here before long.
Well, do what we can with that. A lot of my wares, I do make wares personally, but a lot of what I've found myself into, what's made my wealth, is sending raw materials to up and down to various locations, to Waterdeep, to across the sea, even further south into Baldur's Gate. Every so often, we have a shipment head north to 10 towns.
Understood. Well, you've been a wealth of information. I appreciate your help.
And always happy to help. And again, if you do something good for me, I'm very fond of doing something good for you.
Well, thank you. And with that, he will stow the bag or the pouch in his gear, and
Maze will grab his hand.
and start to walk out.
Yep.
As you're walking out, the flame in the hearth goes a little bit, grows quite a bit larger as the Nin walks by.
Maze, did you?
Nothing damaging.
Yeah, Maze, did you want to say something?
And she just holds out her hand towards you, like, and just waving her fingers back and forth, like,
Money, please.
Where's my money?
you better have my money.
Subtle, not subtle.
Yes. Yeah, totally not subtle. Let's get outside first. Let's get outside.
She kind of pouts, and when she sees the fire push and go higher because of Nin, she'll actually look around for another one and cast Create Bonfire, so that one does the same thing, and smile at him. And
You
just
see,
waddle.
you see a couple of the, you see at one of the forges, you do that too. There's a drow and a dwarf working it, and they kind of do a little bit of a start and a jump at the sudden increase, and they look at they're holding ingots and stuff. Or a little smelting pot they were about to put in, and they're like kind of looking at each other, really confused for a moment. Until Zelios says, stop wasting time, lads. Get to it. We got a deadline to meet.
Bye, Mr. Zelios.
You just hear giggles as she follows Titus.
All right, so head back out to meet with Pearl and Carolee, and I'll go ahead and start to divvy up and distribute the coin to everybody.
After not knowing exactly what to say to Carolee after what she said, she's like, oh, okay, and she'll just kind of like find the nearest tree and just start climbing it. She kind of just like do something else besides talk about it because she doesn't know what to say.
Her defense mechanism, huh?
Yep.
Nin is looking at the money and he's, my goodness, I've never seen this much gold before.
Actually, maybe you
What?
have. Remember, you don't know. You might not remember.
Maybe true. Maybe I'm a king of some realm in the far mountains, or what do you think?
That'd be
Probably not.
cool. She's saying from the
What?
lower branch of the tree.
But what do you do? What do you do with this much money?
Well, I usually get things that are useful to protect me when I'm fighting, like better swords and stuff like that. But I don't need a sword. I fight with my fists.
I would suggest that you just simply put it away for now, lest we get any more attention.
Okay.
that'd
Yeah,
be
that's a
cute.
good idea.
Did he have anything else for us to do, Titus?
Well, he didn't have anything else for us now. He did mention that they were preparing some shipments of ore to go to Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate and up to 10 towns. But he said that if he needed us, he would come find us if we were still in town.
There's quartz in here. I wonder if my
Well,
sister
I've been
would
looking
know.
around. I came here just looking to see if there's any need in the town, any kind of things that are happening, the best things you can do. And there wasn't much to do here other than the mine. We could ask around again. If there's nothing else going on in town, was there anything you guys needed help with, or?
I've been trying to find my sister.
Sister.
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
Well, maybe if we don't find anything here in town to do, maybe we can help him with his shipment and then get us to another town, and we can ask questions around that town. Then maybe we can find your sister,
Or we could go to the circus. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be fun. I like the circuses too.
I could get them all in.
Maze will pull on Titus's shirt and be like, "There's more than one of them," and stare at Pearl.
Yes, I should be checking in with the circus anyway. I came here with them. I don't know, but I don't want to put the money there because I don't know where it'll go. The ringmaster sometimes takes the money that I earn and says it'll be for later.
we can hold on to it for you. I bet you, Titus.
Maybe
Maybe
that's
that's wrong. He might be able to hold on to it.
Here you go, Carolee. Here, have my money. Take it.
I take it and I turn to Titus and I say, "Would you mind carrying this for me?"
Sure.
Now all of you guys have slimy hands, right?
No, not
Oh,
too
that
bad.
doesn't bother me. That yeah,
Yeah.
probably, but that doesn't bother me.
I had the gloves on.
Yeah,
for
Titus,
wrapping.
They're all little slightly damp, not like dripping wet, but it's
Yeah.
like, you know.
I'm not actually a tower house of strength, so I don't want extra things to carry if I don't have to.
Well, coin doesn't weigh a whole lot unless you've
No, I
got
know.
like unless you're carrying like a dragon sword on you.
All right. So, do we want to just maybe we should escort Nin to his circus.
Yeah.
Nin, are you sure you want to go back there? I didn't think they treated you very well.
Well, I
What
mean,
you're saying, they don't seem very nice.
yeah, they're nice. I'm sure they were just trying to say I was a new person with that name. So I am one of the newest persons there, except for the guy who talks to animals. I think he's the newest guy, but I'm sure they're fine, and they're good people anyway.
Well, if you didn't want to stay there, they can't make you stay, and I'd be willing to help you make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to disappoint the ringmaster.
Is this ringmaster helping you figure out who you are?
Well, we haven't talked about it yet exactly, but she says I do good tricks with fire and water. You've just seen the fire. One of the fire tricks I can do. And water. That one made me. It got me in trouble with those dwarves, but it's usually pretty neat. And people come and pay to see me do it. They give me some money. The ringmaster does.
Well, let's go. Why don't we take you in and see what happens?
All right. I think it was. I think they camped on the outside of town. I think. I just was coming in for. And don't tell the ringmaster, but I was doing some tricks on my own to make some extra money. I'm not really supposed to do that.
Not.
Your secret safe with me, I say. Let's go. And I kind of start walking, and I look back
She'll follow
at
because
Pearl
like
and I say,
that Carolee's always like.
might want to come out of the tree.
Yeah. She climbs out of the tree. She thought about jumping out, but she climbed out.
Gun shy from this morning, right?
Yeah. If it hadn't been for this morning, yeah, she probably would have jumped out, but she didn't. So she climbs out and she follows up next to Carolee. She likes being up in front with her.
But
And-
I hope they haven't left yet. I don't know. They might have gone.
Yeah, Titus would follow the group and kind of keep his eyes peeled to see if there's any movement ahead or around, anybody watching us, or if I can spot the circus.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Uh, 16.
Nobody in town seems to be taking much notice of you guys right now. As you kind of go out of town and go a little ways from town, because most circuses don't set up like right next. They set up a little bit of ways away, so you can they can kind of have room, because they have these large kind of entourages for carnivals and circuses. As you Nin kind of lead you. Nin, give me a survival check.
I am. That's a 12.
Nin attempts to lead you guys toward where the circus is. but he gets distracted a couple times along the way, and when he finally comes to a spot where he thinks the circus was supposed to be at, finds that there's no circus there. There's no carnival.
Does it look like the carnival was there and they've just left, or we're in the wrong spot?
I knew
Go
I
ahead and give
shouldn't have
me
thought of
an
my-
investigation check.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Can I help with our glasses?
I knew I shouldn't have left them. I don't know what to do.
So I get down on the ground and put my glasses on and just kind of crawl around and see if I can see anything. I start examining a plant really closely with an 11. So
Not in that. We'll say for the sake of it, over a 6 foot square area, you're not seeing any signs that there was a carnival here.
But there was a wagon was there, and the tent was there, and I think they were there. I don't. Were they there?
How close are we to the town? How far out to the town?
You're about a mile away from town at this point.
Well, and I'm super passively perceptive and passive insight, but I'm gonna investigate, but I'm gonna actively do it as well, just to see as we go back, just kind of start going in a circle around and just start seeing if there's any signs of any, like, is this a clearing? Would this be big enough for a carnival? Is things like that.
Go ahead and give me an investigation.
Sure. That's going to be a not natural 20.
So a dirty
wait,
20.
Sorry. It's my investigation. It's not my passive one, so it's only a plus. So it's a 15. Sorry.
Okay.
The plus 5 I forgot is only for passive investigation.
What's your passive and what's your passive?
Passive is 16 because of my observant feat, and so it adds plus 5 to my passive investigation and passive perception, but it doesn't add to like what I actively do.
Oh, so your passive investigation is what again?
16. And my
16.
passive
But and you
perception
rolled
is
15
21.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking about, this is it's a clearing. It's kind of an open field type of area. It looks large enough, depending on it. Give me a history check.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good. 17 plus 18.
Okay, so you have an idea of most carnivals based on what Nin has described, and the area you're in is large enough that a carnival could be there. There's a couple of like lightly used road pathways that could be that are wide enough and kind of there enough for a series of wagons and carriages to kind of pass along, but you're not seeing any telltale signs that there was a carnival in this spot.
I'm sure it was here. I don't know what. Do you think they left me?
Well, Nin, why don't we do this? Why don't we could head back in town and see if they left any flyers or anything in town to see if they told people where they were going to go, and then maybe we can try to figure that out if we need to.
All right. Will you help me? I mean, I can't read any. I can't read.
Absolutely. Why don't we head back to town? And I kind of try to get him to go a little bit ahead of us, and I'm going to kind of try to drop back and like behind Nin's head, look at the other, look at Pearl and Titus and Maze, and shake my head with this, trying to get them to understand there's nothing here.
I'm focused.
Yeah.
Forward, going back to town.
Okay.
Ready to go.
So you
Actually, I'll say in halfling. I'll open it as say it to Maze. I'll say, there's nothing here at all.
Hmm. Hey guys, Carolee said there's nothing here.
Damn. Huh? What? Never mind.
Let's just go. Let's
that's
go.
right. There's
Keep
nothing
going.
here, so that's why we're going back to town to see
Yeah.
if we can find a thing that lets them that we know where they're going.
Right.
And I
Town.
really look at Titus with this completely exasperated look. I just-
And then,
Okay.
And Carolee, you have an inspiration that you could use at some point during the session. a gift from the tricksters.
Is that a D4?
Yep, it's a D4 you can use at some point for any die roll between now and the end of the session.
All right.
Excuse me. All right, so you guys make it back into town, and now it's trying to find some signs that there is a carnival near town, right?
Yeah. Probably, I think the best bet, guys, would be to go to the inn or a tavern. I bet you they would know information. And if nothing else, then we can try to figure out what's going on. And
fine.
and if we
But
can't
if they
find
left,
anything-
then I don't have any more robes and my dinner plate and
Well, the good news
You
is-
can stay with us.
and the straw mat that I used to sleep in.
But the good news is you have 100 gold pieces. We can buy some. You can buy a backpack and a bedroll and
Will that buy that much?
yeah, quite a bit.
Okay.
It'll be okay, Nin. We'll take care of you.
All right. Well, are we going to the tavern? Is that the place? I think I've been to one or two since I was walking.
So, Mammoth Skies. I think that was the one that we.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the inn you guys stayed at when you first came in. You didn't know each other at the time, but you all kind of stayed there. It's kind of the big kind of focal point. Stepping inside, you see it's kind of this large, open area with tables and a bar. The kitchen, and with a kitchen door, there's a set of stairs that lead up to the rooms. It's pretty. Because this is the central one in this particular town, there's a number of rooms that are there for various travelers, because the ships that do come in, sometimes they have passengers, plus sometimes the crews like to come in and hang out for the night, doing what sailors do when they hit port. So there's a whole hustle and bustle of activity. There's even a building next to it which has several more rooms and whatnot for renting that are a little quieter than the main tavern area itself. But you go in and it's fairly busy at this point. We're about mid-afternoon, between there investigating and then coming back. So it's kind of the hustle and bustle. You see a pair of bartenders kind of working the bar, various wait staff walking around.
I'll just go up to the bar and because I've been here, I was staying here, right? So
Yeah, you all were staying there.
right. So I just go up to the bar and I would say, whatever the bartender's name is, I say, hey, just simple question. Did you hear of a carnival passing through here or lately?
And Nin comes in just hesitantly.
So yeah, the bartender who's there is an elf. Her name, a female elf, a female drow. Her name is Bellerin, and she sees you. She greets you as you come up, and your question again was,
Has she seen a carnival or heard of a carnival in the area lately? Passing through town or anywhere else?
she kind of looks for a moment and goes, I think I saw some people come in here talking about one might be in the area.
Really?
But haven't seen. I think that was I think that was yesterday. They had actually yesterday or the day before is when they came in saying they were going to be in the. They had stopped over.
Really? So you heard about one?
Yeah, small little one.
Yes, that's it.
Was it Ellery's Mystical
Hillary's good.
Menagerie or something like that?
Hillary's Fabulous Follies.
Ellie's Fabulous Folly. I think it was the day before yesterday. A couple of people saying they were part of that traveling group had stopped in for a bit.
Yes, yeah, that's my group. That's my group. They can't be too far.
Did they say if they were leaving or anything?
No, I mean they got a little rowdy, but I think they said they'd be around for a few days.
Yeah, that's my group. They get rowdy sometimes. Yeah, they get drinking and yeah, they go off the chain a little bit.
Yeah, I mean
Sounds
they
just
paid their
like 'em.
tab. That's
Do you know where they're at?
she sits there and thinks a moment, and it's like, I think they said they were parking. I think they said they'd be south of town,
Okay, thank
along the coast.
Can we go there?
Which way did we go again? Scoob?
Say again.
Which way did we go when we went for a look before?
Nin actually went northeast.
Okay. So just being with the opposite direction. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the bartender, I'll give her a couple silver pieces.
Nods her appreciation.
I would ask the barkeep. Could you perhaps draw a quick sketch of where they would be that it might help us find them quicker?
To be honest, I don't know where. They just said they were southwest along the coast. I mean,
Okay.
probably maybe if they got here and whatnot, they're probably about a mile or so out of town. I mean,
And
you
I'd
just
come
follow the
north.
coast. I'm sure you'll see them. They talked about having, they're talking about one of the newest attractions being some Locath, and maybe even a Merilith.
Oh. Yeah. I think they were talking about getting those on board somewhere. I don't know what that is, but they were. Ellery was very excited about it.
Merilith, some watery thing that had to be close to the water for it.
I think that's what she was saying, Ellery, when she was talking to us when we came through the town. She said, "I have to see about getting a new act," but I didn't know what she was talking about at the time. And then I got into the town, and those dwarven bullies started messing around with me, and then I met you all, and then everything went so fast, and I didn't think about telling Ellery I was gone.
Well, let's go get you back home. It'll be okay.
Scoob, would I recognize those names, or if those sound like familiar creatures, or?
Give me a history check.
All right, history, don't fail me now. 12.
The Locath is you haven't heard of that one before. when she said Merilith, you remember that rings a bell, but you're not sure why. But it's definitely not a good thing.
Okay. So I kind of just shifted my armor a little bit and say, do you know anything about these creatures that they're looking for?
Yeah.
I'm asking the barkeep.
No, no idea.
What about you, Nen?
I don't know what any of those names are, but Hillary seemed to be excited about getting some new act on board. I don't know, must be somebody who can do something like I can do with water, and he spins his finger and some of the beer comes out of one of the tankards and spills on the bar. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me clean that up for you." Must be somebody like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Give me a deception check. Oh, man.
Deception. That's a 19.
She kind of shakes her, kind of gives you a look, and doesn't and goes to, and it kind of helps clean that up, because the last thing she needs is is any kind of mess behind the bar.
Quick, Carolee, give me a gold piece, please. Give me one of mine. Oh wait, no, Titus, you have it.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. He puts the gold piece down in front. Fellerin, was it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Miss Fellerin. Here, please take this with my apologies.
All right. Let's just. Oh, I hope you find what you're looking for, and then she starts to focus on some of the patrons who are like calling her attention while she was having this conversation.
I kind of look at everybody like, hey, why don't we just go, and and that way we don't cause any more problems.
Yay, I like to keep moving. I really like you, Carolee.
Well, you seem very nice too.
Yeah. You all seem really nice. I'm so happy I found you. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have the circus and didn't have you guys. And yeah, I'm happy, very happy now.
So Pearl will start walking out of the door.
As we walk, I will mention that that I didn't know what the Locath was, and I really wasn't sure about the Merilith, but it seemed to be something that wasn't good. So we should be careful.
So they might not be as friendly as we hope.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Hillary wouldn't bring anything that would hurt people.
You guys see Maze get a little excited.
And I'll say to Nen, no offense, but I'm not quite sure your judgment can be trusted right now. You don't really even know who you are or what you can do, what you can't do, and if you even have control over it.
I guess that's a fair point. But yeah, I guess that's a fair point. Sorry.
It'll be okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just don't want you to be upset with me. Really, Titus, I'm really a good person, I think. I had to do some things that weren't as nice coming down when I escaped from the woods or wherever, but I was only stealing some bacon here and there, or a pie or something to keep me eating. So, but don't hold that against me, please.
You won't have to do that for a while. You have plenty of money now.
Yeah,
Really, I can buy a pie with this. With how many gold pieces do I need to buy a pie?
Probably one gold piece would buy you probably 10 pies.
10 pies. Wow.
I'm
We could
guessing.
all eat. We
I'm
could
totally
eat
guessing
2
too.
apiece, I think.
Yeah.
What kind of pie do you like, Carolee?
I love a good meat pie,
Me.
and then I love a good berry pie for dessert.
That sounds wonderful. I don't know if I like them, but I think that sounds wonderful.
Sounds good to me. What do you think, Titus?
I think we should get going.
You don't like pie?
I'll like pie when we know a little bit more about what we're doing.
So as we make our way out of town, I am definitely looking for a pie shop. There's no question about it.
You find a baker who makes pie, who has some pies. No meat pies, unfortunately, but there is a nice kind of cherry blueberry pie that they just got done making. And
Not hungry.
he charges for the whole pie is 5 silver.
All right, I will definitely buy a pie, and I'll say, look, Nin, and I get a gold piece out, and give her the gold piece, and so she can give me change.
Yep. She gives you 5 silver back, and gives you the pie, and says, hope you enjoy.
So you got the pie and that silver coin?
Yep, and I cut it in 4s because Titus said he doesn't like pie. So,
Titus, why don't you like pie?
I didn't say I didn't like pie. I just
you
said
you'll
we should
like
get
pie
going.
later.
Yes.
Titus doesn't need pie. And Maze reaches for a piece.
I bite hesitantly into the pie
And I cut mine in half and give Titus half of mine.
nom, 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 nom.
and Pearl's very much enjoying her pie too.
As we eat all the way out of town.
With a little breadcrumb trail to for anybody that wants to follow us.
On the way out of town, Nin spots a tree that's got like feathery leaves and fairly large thorns on it. And he goes over to it and scrapes something off of it and is like looking at it intently. Wow.
What'd you
I
find?
wonder if you can make a pie out of this.
What did you find, Ned?
It's as cool as stuff. It's like I don't know what you would call it, but like the sap of this tree. It just looks so pretty. It's kind of ambery and
Now Pearl's like looking at it very intently as well.
and it sticks to things, and it's just neat. And he kind of plates it a little bit.
Have we gotten far enough where I can see where the circus is yet?
Circus is right here. Come on.
Give me a perception check.
Ned is not helping Pearl's focus at all.
10.
And the whole time I'm just walking, like I'm just like trying to move us along and pushing Nin in the back and Pearl.
Oh, and if she sees you moving forward, she'll every so often she'll like go off to the side and look at something, but then she'll run back over to you.
So as you progress, you don't see anything yet as you go. So continuing to walk along Maze, what are you thinking as all of this is going on?
Oh, I'm just behind everybody, riding on my broom and just laughing and watching and laughing some more.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm just walking, keeping my eyes forward, focused, looking ahead, not looking at the flowers or the birds or the rocks, no matter how shiny they are, and and just continuing on. I've got my hand resting on the hilt of my sword, just kind of, tapping the hilt as we keep walking.
Oh, I don't slow anyone down because if I get behind at all, I just use my my feline agility to catch up. So. I'm good, and I'm a monk. I got like
And I'm
40 or
engrossed
more
with my tree
movement.
sap again, and skipping along, kind of. Tree sap is a wonderful thing. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. I
Ben,
like
give me an
singing with
athletics
my
check.
tree sap. Da-da-da-da-da.
Give me an athletics check, Nin.
Athletics, okay. Athletics is not so good. Oh, but that was a good roll. 18.
So as you're kind of doing this, after every so often you kind of stumble but catch yourself and then continue on. So you're just focused in there, but keep it going. Titus, go ahead and roll another perception.
I'll be on the lookout too, just kind of investigating as we go along, trying to keep moving.
It had to happen. Natural one, baby.
The legend continues.
Yeah, it does. As your best effort, you're so focused on not paying attention to them, you're just kind of lost all sight of what all's going on around you.
Yeah, and then like Pearl wanders off, picks a flower, kind of hands it to Titus, then goes and picks another flower, hands it to tries to stick it in Carolee's hair, stuff like that. Just kinda, as we're walking.
Maze will look around. Are we still going in the right direction?
I think I can make it into a ring. Ooh-da-da-da-da-da.
Go ahead, Titus. Again.
Do you want, since I'm helping him out, does he get maybe like advantage?
Yeah, he
or-
could get it. He could get advantage on this one.
I'm being so helpful right now.
15.
As you come around a bend and look out, you do see what appears to be a group of wagons. With this tent, it looks like they're kind of there's a couple of wagons kind of set up in kind of a semicircle with a tent in the center. Some people are kind of moving about. You see several different people moving about the little encampment, working on setting things up, adjusting things. See some various creatures kind of being led around as you come up, and this appears to be some type of carnival or traveling group that has set up camp right here.
Does it look like the creatures that are being led around are prisoners?
Some of them not.
Okay.
You see like some bears and a couple of creatures you probably not seen before, given your history, and the ones that are really kind of ferocious looking you see, and they're the ones kind of being led around, or they're in caged wagons of some type, and they seem to be semi-docile.
Are these creatures humanoid or all animal?
Some of the ones walking around are humanoid-ish. Some of the ones that are caged up are not. You do see some other, like some canine quadruped type creatures. One particularly large cage has what appears to be some type of primate-looking creature, only it's got like 4 arms. And as it sits in there, another one it looks kind of humanoid, but it's got like a thick carapace and very insect-like as it sits in its bindings. You see a couple of them that appear to be tanks of water that have a couple of different creatures. As you get closer, one of them looks like a humanoid-looking frog. with a kind of a very, very vibrant color palette on the skin.
Is there anything that looks like the Merilith that I can remember?
Go ahead and roll an investigation.
All right, I won't be
By
able
the
to
way,
use my.
it's still hopping along. You didn't notice the carnival yet.
Okay, 18.
You don't. None of them. You do see as you kind of look around. There are a couple of carts that seem to be covered in canvas and kind of set off from the others, and they seem to have a few people kind of standing near them. As you try to get close, one of the guards who's a Leonin kind of blocks your way. It's like this exhibit's not open.
Oh my goodness.
The whole time we're walking around here, I'm gonna try to be personable and all that stuff. But I am 100% checking out everything, trying to make sure, because I don't feel like this is going to be good based on the things that Nina said. Now, I could be totally off, but I'm going to definitely be really on the lookout for their intent, like trying to incite everybody, things like that, just to make sure that things are going the way they're supposed to. And then as we get close, I just turn to Nin and say, "All right, Nin, where's the ringmaster?"
Oh my goodness, we're here. Wow. And there's I know that guy, that lion guy, and I know this other, and oh wow, how did we get here so fast?
It was a long journey.
Yeah, I'm feeling tired anyway. But those are new, those cages with water in it, I think. But Ellery should be in the big main tent over that way, I think. Is the tent's over this way, or is it over?
Leonin
Look
just
for the-
kind of looks
Look
at
for the main
you,
tent and head there.
kind of just shakes his head. But
Come on,
doesn't
remember,
say
I'm
anything.
Nin. Nin, you know me.
And as you guys are kind of there looking about, you guys hear kind of this kind of gravelly voice call out from behind. Nin, you foolish! Where have you been?
I'm Ellery. I was just in town there. And I didn't notice you gone. So I'm sorry.
This is gonna cost you. You need to get over to your area and get set up.
I'm sorry. I have to go. He wanders over to one of the carts that sort of got bars on it or whatever.
Not
I
that one,
physically-
you idiot. The one over, you know.
I'm sorry. I'm.
And she
Okay,
kind of
yeah,
snaps
yeah,
her
this one.
fingers, and an orc comes over and kind of guides you. It's like, get him to his area, get him ready for the show.
Okay. I'm coming.
And as you guys all look back to the source of the voice, you see a gnome standing there, arms crossed across her chest, a look of just contempt at Nin as he's kind of escorted away. And that's where we'll take our break.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a quick 10 minute or so break, get up, stretch about, grab drinks, all those things. Everyone in the chat, hope you're enjoying it so far. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a little bit to explore what is it? Ellery's Fantastical Freaks?
Fabulous Follies.
Fantastical Follies. Okay. So we're gonna see what happens there. Hope you're enjoying it. We'll be back in a few.
Hey, you invited us back. You had a chance to get rid of us in between the seasons, man. But you invited us back.
He's speechless.
Words cannot express.
Well, if you don't have anything nice to say, you.
I love it, Stu. I love it so much.
I like to maintain that this is supposed to be a family-friendly show, so my initial response probably was not going to be very family-friendly to that comment. So
I
I'm
see.
gonna go with, yeah, I'm not saying nothing.
That I get for opening myself up, right? to that sort of thing.
Yep. I'm gonna go with a yep.
You know you enjoy it. All the chaos.
Uh-huh.
So we're back on.
We are back on. We are live. I'm just double checking something to make sure I knew what I was describing was actually here. 'Cause I know I know I've described it and I know I've seen it. So yeah.
An Orgillion.
I think that was probably it. I know I've seen the undead variant, so I just gotta find the.
It's like Garalian or something like that.
Yeah, I just can't remember the spelling. Roll the G's and see what we can find, because I'm trying to remember what. I don't even remember what book it's in. You know. Oh, I'm sure I'll find it. Anyway, so yeah, we're back having fun. Not your typical adventuring party. Yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it. So where we left off, you guys had arrived at the carnival as it's in the process of doing its finalized setup. You were going about looking at some of the various cages and wagons and characters that are wandering about. There's a group of wagons that are covered over in like tarps and canvases. You can't see what's in them, the contents, and like that. It looks like they have a couple of guards, one of them being a Leonin. As you were kind of looking, you heard the gravelly voice of Ellery, the gnome ringmaster of this particular show. See Nin and immediately kind of chastise him and get him scurrying off to wherever his stuff is for him to get ready for a show, whatever show they're going to try and do. Given what everybody's kind of doing, it looks like it might be they could be setting up for a rehearsal type thing, or to kind of do their parade, get ready for their parade through town to encourage visitors to come and check, or getting ready for opening night. It's kind of hard to tell. Most everything seems to be in place, just a couple of last minute bits and whatnot. Carolee, you said you were going to try and get a general tone and a feel for what's going on, so go ahead and give me a insight check.
Sure. By the way, it's GIR, Steve.
GIR.
ALLON. All right. So, the insights would be 19.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to use. Yeah, I think I'll call it good. For now.
using World Anvil to try and keep track of my notes as we go through this so that I have a better memory.
Mhm.
I did that
Enhanced
last time,
memory.
but I forgot to save it.
All right, so you rolled a 19 on your insight. Looking about, some of the creatures that are being held in captivity don't appear to be in the best of condition and temperament. Some of them seem quite aggressive in the way that they look, but they're not outwardly showing that aggression. Some of the various people that are within the carnival, some seem quite happy, but others seem a little hesitant. And as you kind of watch Ellery kind of go about, some of them seem almost a little intimidated by her as she goes about. She's definitely an older gnome but her voice is kind of that real gravelly kind of sound. Kind of think like Yzma from Emperor's New Groove as she talks. She kind of goes about.
Okay, so I actually just say, excuse me, Miss Ellery, is that right?
Yes.
Would you mind telling me what the story is with your friend Nin that we found and helped to return?
You helped him? Did he get himself
Why
into
would
trouble
we?
again?
He helped
No,
us
no,
too.
no.
Why do you call him Wet Ears?
Have you not seen him? He didn't know he didn't know his name. We found him. He was just wandering around, kind of babbling incessantly. And when we tried to help, it's like he had that mucus that comes out from behind his ears. And since he couldn't remember his name, we did what most societies do. You name somebody based on something about them.
So, mean little short lady. I meant Ellery. I was wondering if you would help me understand why you treat him the way that you do. And I say that as nicely and diplomatically as I can.
I'll look at Curly and say, it's Nife. In Elvish, that means short one.
Knowing that I've totally offended her. But I still say it as nicely as I can.
Look, I have a business to run. Sometimes people need a firm hand to make sure that they're on task when they need to be on task. Nin tends to wander off in both senses. He's not all up there. And so, like with a lot of my employees and assets, sometimes you need to be firm with them so that they do what they're expected to do. And he does attract attention with his quirkiness and his little flame spirals and his little water spirals. It's a great opening act. It's a great thing he brings in for the kids and whatnot to be amused in between the main acts. And I appreciate that he's here, and I appreciate the value he gives my company, my organization.
So he could leave whenever he wanted to, right? I'm assuming.
Provided he pays his debts, he is more than welcome to go. Right now, he get a percentage of what he brings in is used to cover his expenses. Unfortunately, while he does bring in some laughs and some merriment to some of our guests, he's not a large enough draw to cover the expenses that are associated with having him in my employ.
How much does he owe?
300 gold, I think, is around about what it is, because he wasn't here yesterday, and that docked his wages, so he owes that back.
You had a show yesterday? That's pretty cool.
We have to set up for the show. Everyone here on our show works.
Oh.
Nobody gets to be a vagabond and just wander off into town when they're supposed to be working. And at this point, she kind of says that a little higher as she looks over and sees Nin fiercely getting his stuff situated for his area.
So, how much does he make a show?
Makes about a silver a show.
So you're saying he's pretty much going to be a prisoner for the rest of his life?
Well, 3,000 shows later, he'll pay for what he owes you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Unless another arrangement can be met. Yeah.
What if we gave you 100 gold pieces right now? Bird in the hand's better than nothing.
I whispered to Carolee, 99, he bought pie.
Roll a persuasion.
I bought the pie.
He tipped the bartender.
That's true.
I would like to help in that persuasion.
Okay. So roll with advantage, Carolee.
Okay. I rolled an 18 and a natural 20. So good job, Titus. Because my persuasion is +0. So 20.
Kind of, she looks up at you, and it's weird, this aura of this person being so authoritative, being so small comparatively to you. She sits there. It's like, all right, 100 gold. Do you have it?
Well, let's talk. We need to talk to him first and see if that's what he wants. But yeah, we could figure something out.
Well, if you have it before the show tonight, then after the show, he's free to go about his way.
And I say deal, and I hold my hand out.
She kind of does the spit in her hand and shakes your hand, and then heads off and you see her start directing and talking with some other people about getting stuff in line, and you can kind of hear her talking about her new act tonight that should be a good draw, and to make sure and you see a couple of people start running off toward the town to kind of rustle up intrigue and interest to come and see the show tonight.
I don't like her. I say. I turn to the group and I say, I don't like her.
I don't like this place.
I don't like things being kept in cages. I don't.
Yeah, she doesn't seem very nice.
You see Maze get a huge grin on her face.
Is there? So you said the animals were kind of in cages, and she was being demonstrative to like everybody, but there were. I can't remember what you told Titus. Did you say there was people kind of also being enslaved too, or ish?
Not so much enslaved, but just it's that forceful, authoritative, like the type of people that have put themselves in power because others have allowed them to be in that position of power. Kind of deal. It's like, if they were, it's almost like their will has been broken in some way, which is why they do what she says. Almost like you kind of get the impression, especially with the conversation you just had with her, that she has some sense of leverage. She has some sense of leverage over many people within this show, this community, even though she may not.
That's
But
the way
they
you-
believe she does, so therefore they are subservient to her because of that.
Well,
Hard if that's what's going on.
Say that again, Pearl. I didn't quite hear it.
This could be hard if that's what's going on.
yeah, but I think I could tell she was greedy, so I knew. Obviously, he doesn't really owe her 300 gold pieces. That's ridiculous.
I would say to Kara Lee that it seems to me that this system is set up such that those that join her will never leave.
Oh, for sure. 300 gold pieces when it can't be more than a couple silver pieces a day for upkeep
Right.
in a general thing. Yeah.
Well, you
Going to take a look around, guys. And she'll hop off her broom and kind of strap it to her back.
I'll
look around a little. You know I'm good at sneaking. Titus, can I sneak? Can I sneak? You know I'm good at sneaking. I can go sneak.
I don't know that trying to sneak around is going to be the choice that we want to do right now.
Well, why don't we go talk to Nin and you two want to, what do you want to sneak around for, Pearl?
Oh, look and see if she does have anything that she's holding over them.
I think that's a great idea personally, but Titus is the one in charge.
I say we take a vote.
Yeah, I like that idea. Let's vote. I want
I'm
to sneak.
sneaking.
Sneak.
3, 2, 1, Titus.
Yay! I get to sneak.
I didn't vote. Is Maze raising two hands, I guess? Is that
Yeah.
I've got Fritz on my shoulder and I put one of his paws up.
So Titus, he stands there looking at Pearl and Maze, who appear to be ready to jump out of their skin, just ready to just go. And he says, I merely mean that we should exercise some discretion here. If we were to get caught trying to sneak around, that could be bad. We want to make sure that we are safe in this place.
Sure, watch this. And she'll run off to where one of the carriage thingies are. And I'm going to try to hide underneath it.
Go and roll a stealth check.
Oh, goodness.
How much cover is near that lead lady's place, her carriage thing?
You actually don't know which one hers is.
Okay.
She's wandering about, talking and giving instruction and kind of constantly and just kind of checking on things.
I got 24, by the way.
Yeah, you guys watch Maze kind of rush over to a cart and gone. He is in the shadows by the cart because at this point it's late afternoon. The sun is starting to set. The shadows and the evening and the dusk is coming. Lanterns are starting to get lit around to kind of get ready. People are kind of getting into their I guess their show garb. People dressed as clowns. People making sure all the stuff is situated. You see now that they kind of position some carts in a line that is kind of ready to pass through the tent at some point. All of that pre-show hubbub as the tempo and the pace starts to get ready for the show.
Are there any carriages that are not ending up with the lineup? Because obviously there would be some that are for boarding and things like that, how many of those are not being lined up?
There's about there's like 4 or 5 that are not easily identifiable as being a part of this, that are kind of off to the side, not including the 3 which seem to be at the near the tent but kind of off to the side in a different position to be let in, that have all the canvas and whatnot covering them.
Canvas covering them. And which wagons did Maze go under? I missed that part. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, can you I can't hear you.
Sorry, I said which wagon did Maze go under?
She went under one of the ones in the line.
Okay. So you're saying that there's some of them that have canvas over them, correct?
Yeah.
Are there people standing by them, watching them? You know.
Yes,
guarding them?
there's a couple of people standing by. One of them being a Leonin that you guys saw. Not familiar. Leonin, it basically looks like a humanoid lion.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
big, very broad, muscular. Kind of maybe like a not sure what he does in the show, but he at this moment he's standing watch over near these wagons.
Okay, so looking at the wagon and stuff, does he have his back to the wagons?
Yeah, has his back to
Okay.
the wagon and is kind of watching out to make sure. And as some people come by, he kind of gives them a look and a nod, and they kind of shift course. Nobody really goes around these, so
Okay,
there's
so-
some
so-
significance to them.
Right. Behind those wagons,
Open
are
area.
there trees and other things like that?
It's shoreline and kind of an open space.
There's no real good way to sneak up to them, is there?
Not directly. You'd have to circle around the backside.
I'm okay with. Yeah, I was planning on like going around the backside because I don't want to.
But no, there are no trees. This is kind of an open plain area leading up to the coast. There's a small kind of little cliff area as it kind of goes down to the water, which is a bit. You can see it, you can smell it, you can kind of hear the waves kind of hit the beach. But there's a little bit of a drop in the terrain before you get to the actual ocean area. A small path that kind of leads down, and that is roughly situated next to these couple of wagons that are covered, and another one that has some water in it, and a couple of like mundane sea creatures kind of in there, in kind of a natural it's kind of a makeshift aquarium.
Mm-hmm. And the spot that drops down into the ocean or towards the ocean or anything, is that edge or whatever, is that close to the wagons?
It's about
Like, if I were
300
to-
feet.
Okay, that's not very close. Because I thought maybe I could, sneak up that way because I have climbing speed, but.
And can I just say that I'm keeping my ears open for any passerbyers to try to listen in on what they're talking about to retain any new information that I might overhear?
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Uh, 19 plus 5, 24.
All right. As you're sitting there listening in and whatnot, you're hearing some chatter about getting the show ready and how they were a little bit behind because of the new additions. The one creature seems a little unsettling, and they thought the Gorillion it was unsettling, but this new creature is even more unsettling, and they're not sure, but it looks like it might definitely be a seeing they kind of have faith in Ellery to kind of make a spectacle of this creature, but they're kind of leery about it, and they're glad that the Leonin um is kind of standing watch and kind of at the ready in case something happens, but they're not familiar with it. It's a weird kind of creature. There's and then they have there was another one that was kind of seems to be the leading act. It is kind of a little weird, is another kind of weird creature that they almost lost because they didn't have enough water nearby for it to keep alive. And that the Umber Hulk has been kind of testy lately. The Gorillion seems to be a bit on edge as well. Maybe they shouldn't put the two of them next to each other when they stop next time.
Okay. Sorry.
You're good.
So I haven't snuck off yet. So
No.
I'll point out to Titus about these wagons, and be like, I have minor illusion. I could maybe, because I'm pretty sure minor illusion can allow me to create. Is that the one that can do the skunk smell? I forget.
You have to double check it.
I am looking at it now.
Nin, what are you doing while all this is going on? I know I've said something about you getting ready for the show, so walk me through that while they're all of this. You notice everybody's kind of getting ready. You kind of get that sense that, hey, the show's getting ready to start. So what does Nin do to prepare?
Well, Nin finally gets his finds his wagon that he usually stays in, and goes to open the door and sits down and kind of cries a little. He's, I'm so glad I found him, but anyway, I gotta get ready. So he starts bandaging himself, or taking off his big scarf and putting on another one that's some kind of really loud colors, like, I don't know, pink and orange or something.
Okay.
And he puts it all on and gets a little like shiny star kind of medallion kind of thing, and puts it on the tip of his new hood. He wraps himself up again.
Okay.
And then he checks to make sure his pillow's there, the one that he has, his other set of shoes, and he gets some few crusts of bread and eats them, and checks up into the ceiling of the cart and looks and sees that the light crossbow that he had up there is still there, with a couple bolts. Puts that back up, and he gets out of the carriage and stands up and draws himself up big, and he's like, Hillary's gonna be so happy that she has me back. And walks over towards where the other characters are talking.
Yeah, at this point, there's a kind of a central corridor of things that people can, of the wagons, can kind of look at in some of these different booths and games, and you find where your stall is and start getting in. You have your supplies there to do your act, or as people come in.
Of water and a little brazier of fire.
Yeah, the brazier's not lit yet. The water bucket's empty, but that seems to be that area, so you can kind of get yourself situated.
Right. And I'll go and get the bucket of water actually, and go towards the shoreline to fill it out. And a couple of the other carnies people are going to be like, hey Nin, good to see you again. Or kind of like, as I'm walking over there, kind of like bump into me or make me spill my water again. And I'm like, that's great, I'm glad to see you too. It's nice to be back. Thank you.
And they
So-
kind of do that to you, and then it's like there's a couple of them that are genuinely nice to you and kind of help you out, and like you don't have to go all the way to the shore, dearie. It's over here. They have that and kind of steer you away from having to go to the shore to get that because it's a long walk, and you know, and they tell you it's like Ellery will be so mad at you if you take too long. Come on, we have some potable water here you can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you very
there's a
much.
few nice people, but some of the others they kind of they give you that not so sincere kind of thing.
Right. But Nin is all about, you know, being part of the carnival family.
Yeah.
And he's just sucked in. He's like so grateful that somebody took him in.
Is this enough time? Like, so they're hiding, and Titus and I are going to kind of, or I don't know, look for
Right now it's you, Pearl, and Titus kind of standing there.
Oh.
I haven't snuck off.
Oh,
yet.
has
Maze
gone.
has snuck off, so she's
Okay.
somewhere. You have no idea where.
Right.
And you see Nin, and you kind of watch as all of this has been going. You see Nin kind of head off and then come back in a little bit nicer clothes, go to an area, and then you see him try to carry an empty bucket and then carry a full bucket, and see him kind of get shoulder checked by a couple of people. You see a couple others come to help him out and kind of help him get situated. So you can see the dynamic that some people are kind of being mean to him and think it's funny. Other people are genuinely trying to be nice to him, and he just kind of goes about what's going on. So what are the three of you going to do at this
I was just
point? There are people who are starting to the early interested people are starting to come in from the town to kind of see as some of the activity and whatnot starts to kind of pick up.
So, the minor illusion does not have any smells or anything like that, but it does have either a sound or a small image. So, what I would ask Titus, like, do you want me to try and find out what's in those wagons, or would you rather me try to find what she might be holding over the others, and see if I can find her wagon? Because if I go to the one that's hiding things, the ones with the tarps and the Leon in there, I could use an illusion to use her voice, since I heard her voice, call him away or something maybe.
I think you can do whatever. I was hoping that Titus, we could go talk to Nin and see what he wants, and I think anything you can find would be awesome.
So which way do you think I should look? Should I look to see what those things are under the tarps, or should I try and find her wagon?
I'd try to find her wagon.
Okay.
See if you can find anything on her.
Alright, so then I would start stealthing towards the other set of wagons that are possibly the boarding style wagons. Being very careful, and as soon as I get close enough, if no one sees me or anything like that, I would slide underneath them, and then slowly as I go, look at each individual one to see if there's any labels on them, if there's any to tell which wagon is which, if there's any indications of one being more decorative or anything like that that might indicate which one would be hers, since she'd be the leader of the circus, so it might be somewhat different than the others or something like that. That's what I'm looking for.
You're trying to find Ellery's wagon?
Yes. And I'm hiding under the other wagons using stealth, and just kind of like looking at each individual wagon from underneath the other ones and stuff like that.
All right. Go ahead and give me a stealth check, and then give me an investigation check.
Since I'm so close. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not that close. Alright, the stealth is a 14, and the investigation is a 12.
Okay. As you attempt to kind of sneak from cart to cart, eventually some people are like, "What are you doing?" And you hear a couple of call out as she goes, "It's crazy tabaxis," and but you can't really tell which one is her cart. But as you try to be kind of that act casual and kind of sneak through the curtain, so to speak, you get found out and kind of turned away.
Mm-hmm.
Titus and Carolee, what are you two doing?
I want to find Nin and speak to him before the show.
Same.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys go through where there are starting to be people coming from the town and nearby farmsteads to kind of come in and take in the spectacle. There's a couple of people kind of standing there watching where Nin is, and you see him doing his show in front of them. Nin, what does your show entail?
My show entails me being proclaimed as the magnificent magical wizard who can change the course of water and fire and bring them together and put out the water and the fire, and who can also read minds. And so when somebody comes up, I'd be saying, Come see me alter the path of this water, and I pour some water and draw it to me and make kind of like animal shapes and all that kind of thing.
Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Yes.
Please, not one.
23.
23.
Yep, I'm actually a good performer.
Oh, so you're sitting there and you're going about this, and there's a family with three little kids, and the kids are like, "Did you see that, mommy? He made the fire go out. Did you see that?"
I
And the
make
other one's
like
like,
little
"Oh,
animal
this is so
shapes out of the
cool.
water, like
Magic's
a water
cool."
swan or a water badger or a water monkey or something like that, and they dance around the water bucket. And all of a
And
sudden
a few
I go,
people kind of applaud, and a few people are applauding that are there and seeing it. It's like it's really good. It's having a lot of fun. Some of the kids who kind of see that are like, "Oh, it's so cool."
yes, come if you want to see more. Please donate to my bucket of water, and then I push up the water in the bucket and have a couple of copper coins kind of sprinkle in there.
See if you see everyone there's about 10 of them all watch. They all drop a couple of electrum into the bucket. One group actually drops a gold in.
Thank you very much. You're lovely people.
So when that
Come
particular
back
crowd
anytime.
kind of dissipates, you see Titus and Carolee kind of coming up, and they caught the tail end of the show.
Oh, my friends, isn't this wonderful? Don't you love it? Enjoy it? I could get you probably tickets to the main show. Isn't Ellery great?
No.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm supposed to be subtle.
No, she's great. She tells me what to do, and then I can do it, and then she brings the people to see me, and I can do my tricks and all this kind of thing.
You're her slave, Nin. You couldn't.
No. Slavery
Yeah.
doesn't happen like that. The slavery has people with chains and collars and.
Yeah, can you leave?
Have you
Sure, I
looked
could
around?
leave, but why would I want to?
Because they treat you like garbage.
No. They give me food and everything. I even had like some crust of bread in my cabin or my wagon when I came back. It was great.
Have you ever eaten anything as good as the pie that we had today?
No, that pie was pretty good. You're right, but I'm sure maybe like when I move up in the circus, when they'll treat me better and I'll get better food. I've seen some better food at Ellery's place every once in a while. She'll have me come and serve them, ale or something like that. when she's talking to other people, when she's trying to make a purchase for a new act?
Wouldn't you rather go around doing like we did earlier and solving problems and seeing more of the world and helping people and being your own person? And you could be our family and in this family, and then that way you wouldn't have to be here. I mean, I know I'm new, but they seem pretty close.
Well, I mean, that was awful neat and fun, and going on to the under the ground and seeing the mine and battling that creature was awful fun. But I mean, really, how much can that happen? I mean, who can live a life like that? It's better that I have Ellery and Gertzu, the Leonid guy. And he keeps me safe, and he'll push me back when I'm getting too close to something, or he'll knock me down if I get too close to something. They're all doing it to protect me and keep me. I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes I wander off sometimes, and don't pay attention sometimes, and that's what Ellery reminds me of all the time. That way I stay safe.
You can do what you want, but you said yourself that she doesn't let you keep anything that's yours or your own money. That sounds like slavery to me, and I know that you think this is right, but it's not. I'm telling you, it's not, man.
Well, look, here comes another group of kids. I gotta put in the show. Come see the marvelous magician, marvelous masked magician.
All right, Maze, what are you doing while this is? What's your character thinking and doing?
She is really on the fence right now.
Okay. What is she on the fence about? What is she thinking?
She doesn't like this place at all.
Okay.
She doesn't like seeing anybody or anything in a cage.
Okay.
And feels that one day something very bad might come of all of this.
Okay. What's Maze want to do about it?
So she figures if it's going to happen, it might as well happen now while there's all of us here. And she makes her way towards what was it called? The ape with the 4 arms?
The Gorillion?
The Gorillion. Can she make her way over to the cage that has the Gorillion?
She can certainly try. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Oh no, come on, please.
That I wasn't able to
Oh no.
the stealth like I was wanting to. The next thing I had thought about doing was trying to talk to the Leon and be like all excited that you're kind of like me, but you look different. I've never met one of you before, and try to be her normal cheery self to him to see how guarded he is. Just kind of test the waters.
There. What'd you
got
get on
14.
that stealth check? It's not loading for me yet.
14.
So
You're
you
not getting good stealth checks right now.
Yeah, as you get close to the Gorillion's cage, it starts to kind of perk up and look in your direction and kind of start to do that kind of the kind of puffing itself up, being threatening and intimidating to you.
Yeah.
As you get close and kind of snarling at you. And then, which the added noise all of a sudden attracts a couple of people around, and be like, and they shout out, "Hey, don't go near him! Bubbles doesn't like people near him. Stay away from Bubbles."
I like that name.
Oh,
I'll let you think on that.
yeah. Please.
Pearl, you said you wanted to go and talk to the Leonin.
Yes.
He's kind of standing. He's kind of standing there, standing watch. He's almost twice as tall as you are.
Wow, you're so big. And but you look kind of like me, and I've never met one like you. And are you a tabaxi?
Kind of he looks down at you. Kind of goes, no.
Then what are you? Because you're awesome looking. And she's like just twitching her tail, all happy, and just like.
He's no. I'm not a tabaxi. I'm Leonin. Proud race.
I like it. You seem nice.
Okay. Kind of get the sense he doesn't talk much. So he's very much like short and kind of looking down on you because you're just so he no.
Do you stand here all the time? This seems like a boring job. Don't you want to romp around and have fun?
No, I take my job seriously. The honor.
Oh, that makes sense. Honor is nice. Well, may I ask what your job is? I'm really curious. Especially since you want to be so honorable with it.
I'm keeping nosy people like little tabaxis away from places they shouldn't be.
Am I doing something wrong? I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk to you. She just smiles at him.
Move along, one.
Oh, okay. I still like talking to you, as she's like kind of sadly walking away.
You hear him kind of give that exasperated kind of. It goes back to his just kind of staring off, watching everyone around.
At this point, I wanted to go see if I could find that ring.
Okay. Ilary's kind of up at the front, doing the whole showman thing. Come, check out, see our wondrous menagerie of crazy creations and fantastical beasts that I assure you've never seen anywhere. See this. It's just big whole poppin' circumstance. As people are greeting, and you hear this, and you're used to seeing this when the crowd's coming in. She seems so pleasant and nice and charming, and everybody's just kind of coming through and talking through, and she catches you out of the corner of her eye as the group passes. And then she looks at Nin. What are you doing?
Well, I'm all set up over at my place. I even got some water. I didn't go to the lake or anything.
That's good, Nin. But the customers are here. Why are you over here? Why are you not there?
Could you let my new friends in for free on my account, please? It would really be nice to let them in.
I'll take it out of your wages.
But I think I want to see that. Okay, I guess so. But come on, please. Can you just let them in?
Nin,
come on,
do
please.
your job, and they will be fine. We'll worry about settling that afterwards. Now, get back to work. Get back to work.
I mean, all right. So I go over pad where Titus and Karen Lee.
And she continues on with hers. Come, check it out. See these wonderful, fantastical creations. See these magnificent marvels of bestial power. See our special surprise creature from the fathomless deep.
I go past the two of Karen Lee and Titus and say, she said that I could definitely get you in for you coming for free. It's no cost to me or anything. It'll be fine.
Sounds like a plan. And I just turn to Titus and I say, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through to him. And I say this out loud in front of Nin and don't even bother with hiding it.
All pretense is gone.
Yeah.
He kind of puts his head down and kind of walks away. Towards
But we
him.
appreciate you giving us in for free, Nin. We wouldn't miss it. We
All
care
right.
about them like these people.
All right. Well, you might have to pay in front, and then they'll reimburse you. But
Oh, okay. That sounds about right.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
you definitely want to see the
no.
main feature.
She said yes, they could come in. She would take it out of your wages. They're not get. They don't have to. They got in. You got what you wanted. They could get in, and they don't have to pay. She'll charge you for it.
Oh, I know. I'm lying. To make them impressed that I have such pull with the circus. You know, I want to impress my friends.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Carolee and Titus, what about you? What are you two doing after this exchange? You just kind of.
I'll just follow. Is he going into the main?
No,
thing?
he's going back to his area. More people are starting to come in and filter in. It's probably another 20 minutes or so before she starts shooing people in to start the parade of acts. So for Nin, his job is as this kind of opening act kind of deal, and then after that he's kind of on standby for the main acts that are in the tent. This is that promotion he's so excited about getting, where he can perform inside the tent as well as just on the as kind of an instead of being a warm-up act, he wants to get to where he can be like a main event act.
I'll just follow. I just tell Titus, I'll follow your lead. I'm at a loss.
After
At this
talking
point,
to
Nin is using a hand, a ghostly hand, to pat children on the head, and
Yeah,
scratch
you
behind
keep
their
working the
ears.
crowd as they're coming in, trying to get them all excited for this.
since I wasn't getting anywhere with these other places, she'll try to catch up to Titus and Carolee, kind of fill in what's going on.
Okay.
You know,
I'm gonna walk around the wagons and have every appearance of a patron, just kind of getting a lay of the land,
Okay.
and look at all of the wagons and the cages, and then make note of any areas that are guarded that would potentially be the main act or something else hidden away.
You see a couple of things, especially the one the insect looking creature, the Gorillion. They both have some people kind of keeping some of the patrons from getting too close. And talking it up like, oh, these are horribly ferocious beasts. Don't get too close. You might lose a limb or something. The whole showman thing. And given what, assuming Carolee expressed some of the insight she saw from looking at those creatures, as you you can kind of take a look, the Umber Hulk that they have caged up there doesn't appear to be overly threatening. It looks to be quite miserable. So it's kind of that, but not many people on the surface see an Umber Hulk. You've never really seen, you probably never really seen an Umber Hulk in Barovia. So they look big and intimidating, but the mannerisms don't quite fit right. The Gorillion, of course, seemed to have been upset recently, so it's starting to calm down a little bit, which is a good segue over to Maze. What are you going to do now that you've been found as you approach the Gorillion?
She's gonna put a pause to her plan just for a moment
Okay.
and go look for Titus and Carolee and inform them of what she's overheard as she's been
Okay.
sneaking around.
So you see Titus kind of coming closer to that, and you kind of step out of the shadows.
So all four of us are together now.
Yeah.
So I just say, we talked to Nin, and he's not going to want to go. He can't see past their keeping him here. He can't see past that. I don't know if he doesn't want to or if he just can't. But if you look around this place, these creatures they're pathetic. They're caged. Everybody looks. I don't like this place.
And
I don't
guess
like
I'll
corruption,
relay
and
what
I just
know.
have a feeling that she's corrupt, and I don't like this.
The only other idea I could think of to try and figure out which wagon is hers is I know Titus, you're from Barovia, and I know that the Sani travel in Bardos because I've been trying to look for my sister. Maybe you could talk to them, say, hey, I noticed that your wagons look a lot different than the Sani wagons, kind of like banter on like the workmanship and things like that to try and maybe get some information out of them of which ones are more well made, things like that, to try and figure out which wagon might be the important wagon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. He thinks on that for a moment and says, and also in response to Carolee, that if there weren't innocent civilians around, I might be inclined to let all of these creatures go and just try and stay out of their way as they left. I don't feel right about this either.
We could always wait till night. It'd be safer and easier to stealth then. And if we all go together, I can cast Pass Without Trace.
Well, I think we need to figure out what it is we want to do.
I agree.
And it doesn't seem that Nin is really on board with leaving this party or leaving this carnival, even though it would be better for him to leave.
Maybe somehow we need to set up a scenario where he'll see their true face.
True, but at the same time, if he doesn't want to leave and we force him to leave, we're not that much better than they are, or than she's being.
No, I'm not trying to force him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show him the truth.
Yeah, for
know
sure.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get into an argument with, I keep forgetting her name, the head lady.
Hillary.
Hillary, yeah.
Yeah.
Ife.
Or something. Get a way for the true selves to show through somehow.
I really don't think that even if we revealed her to be as she truly is, that Nin would catch on. He seems very easily distracted and not at all having sound judgment. And I don't think that's entirely his fault. It seems that something terrible has been done to him. And he's really just trying to make the best of it and to figure out how it is that he can function and be safe in this world. And I don't blame him for that. But
What if, yeah, I think what if we found, with Pearl's plan, what if we found her, I wonder if she has any records or anything of when she found him. Maybe there'll be some information there that we could find out to help.
Right, that's what I was trying to do, is find some sort of information, but I don't know which wagon is hers.
Well, we could just go up to a guard and try to bluff our way to her wagon.
Or I might have a solution. I can make myself look like her and just go start checking everything. You think they'd stop me?
Or what if you looked like her and looked? No, that wouldn't work. if she's over there, because she's over there, and it's pretty loud, right, Steve? She's being loud and trying to pull everybody
Yeah.
in. So
She's
pretty obvious.
she's up there kind of welcoming people in, and even you guys notice. So as she's doing the showman thing, she's very nice and pleasant, charismatic as she's encouraging people to come in and check things out. So, but she's all of her attention right there is welcoming in these new guests.
It might not work to impersonate her now because of that, but I like the idea. We could just go up to a guard and, like, with our money to say, hey, we're supposed to take this to Ellery's cart, but we don't know where that is. We were told to pay this money for Nin. Now we're not totally lying.
Yeah, I think we could say something like that, where we say that we were told to deliver this to her, and I see that she's busy welcoming all the guests. Can we just place it in her room?
Or add her cart, or yeah.
Yeah.
We can try it, see what happens. Do you want to do the talking, Titus? I'm not always the best with people. I'm a little bit more.
I'd be willing to help with that. So I look around in the vicinity of those other wagons that Pearl was trying to go to. Are there any guards or anybody official looking standing there?
Not really. There's a few people kind of milling about that are more like the stagehands and the background people from the acts, that like the handlers and stuff, kind of milling about. But there, you don't see anything like an official type of guard, or you don't see anyone that's doing what the Leonin is doing.
Right.
Let's ask one of them. They might let us know because they might not think much about it.
Yeah. I'll look to one of the stagehands and walk up to him and ask him to direct me to her wagon so that we can drop off these funds.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion.
All right. Anybody helping me?
I don't know if I'd be very helpful, but I can try. Just a
And-
stand waving hi, like all happy. But
I
don't know if I'd be the
think
best one to
Maze.
do it. I've been
Maze,
over
what
there
about you?
before.
Were you
Well,
gonna
not
try
a
and
good
help with
idea,
that?
maybe.
Well, I was going to say while he's asking, I wanted to pay attention to the person's eyes to see if there was any eye shifts to maybe the direction of where her place of residence might be.
And I'll help if I can.
Okay,
You'll
so
help.
Carolee will help with the persuasion. Maze, go ahead and give me an insight check.
I'll just be helpful by not being nearby since I was spotted over there earlier.
Since I have inspiration, can I give my inspiration to Titus?
No, you would use that for your dice roll.
Okay. All right.
So I get to roll for with advantage.
Yes, it's a roll
Okay,
with
the fir-
advantage.
The first one was an 11. The second one was a nat 20.
All right.
And yeah, I got a dirty 20 on the insight.
All right, so the individual you talk to, you make your case. He goes, well, the boss is really busy, and Maze, you see him kind of shift and look in a direction toward toward one of the wagons. It's a little off than the rest. He goes, well, sure, just real quick, just. Kind of points over, and you kind of see there's one wagon that's off to the side, and you can tell it looks like a little bit better quality than the others. Like things are kind of kept at in a much better state of repair. All the wagons are in a good functional state, but there's that
Right.
difference between the somebody who has the car they take care of, and the somebody who has the car they just drive
Right.
constantly.
Right.
So it's like you can tell that one, and you kind of go up and whatnot. Go and head up to that wagon.
Okay. Is there anyone around or seeming to pay any mind to us?
Not that you can tell.
Okay.
I'm gonna purposely not go with them just because, like I said, I've been spotted over there before. I don't want to draw any attention.
Yeah, this is kind of a different group of wagons, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
you didn't quite get over there yet. You got found out too quickly.
Oh. I don't want to detriment, like, I don't want to, cause any problems for them.
So Titus, Mays, and Carolee are kind of heading over toward this wagon to drop off the payment.
Yeah. So I would suggest to Maze that she get access into the wagon, and we would stand off to the side as to try not to draw attention, but keep an eye out in case anybody should approach.
And I'm pretty good at looking for things, so if you can get in, I can go in with you, Maze, and help you look around for stuff too. If you can get us in.
Check for any traps too.
Maze is on it. She's checking for traps on the door to make sure she doesn't.
I've heard
You know.
Bardo sometimes have traps, so maybe these wagons do too.
Yeah. So yeah, she's checking before she tries to open the door.
Go ahead and roll the investigation.
Oh, yeah, sorry. For the trap.
Yeah.
Oh no, 13.
You don't notice any? You think you can't seem to find anything like seems like a trap on the door.
All right, she opens the door or checks, tries
And
to.
roll a Constitution check.
Yeah. 5.
Oh dear.
You go to put your hand on the knob. Turn the knob. As you turn the knob, you feel a prick in your hand. And you feel something warm travel up your arm. And you feel yourself getting very sleepy. And you collapse. Sleep.
Supposed to do that?
Oh,
Titus and Carolee, you see her kind of turn it, feel the prick, kind of go, just kind of topple over onto the ground.
I don't think it does. I have to double check here. I'm looking at it. I have herbalism and herbalism kit. Can I do anything? I can't remember if I can do anything with that or not.
Can I do a quick medicine check on Maze to see if I can
Sure.
see if it's
Okay. So it says I can create like antitoxins and things like that with the herbalism kit. Can I? And since I have the hands of healing and things like that, I'm proficient in it and I'm really good at it. Is there any something I can do to try to counteract the poison?
First, you need to identify what poison it is.
Okay.
That's the first challenge.
All right.
Titus, go and roll your medicine check.
8.
I look at him. I'm like, no, that's her foot, and I move him aside. And
Takes the glasses off. Puts them back.
All right, so Carolee, go ahead and give me a medicine check to try and determine
I get it at a D4 because of my
inspiration.
Well, no. Oh, well, I can maybe do that too. I was gonna hold off on that, but I have that's part of the feature of the House of Healing.
Okay.
That's medical intuition. So, all right. So I got 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 6, so 22.
22. Given her symptoms and condition, it appears that the she was poisoned. Then the poison is one that will put a creature to sleep. The most common poison that you can think of about this would happen to be the poison the drow use.
Oh.
So there was some mechanism on the doorknob that injected her with drow sleeping poison.
Do I think I have time to help her with this, or is this something I don't think I can do right now?
Hold that thought. Pearl, you stayed in the carnival area, right?
Yeah, like I had stayed off to the side so that I wouldn't draw attention to them.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, let's hope I do a good one. Because I have a feeling it's going to be important.
At this time, Nin is over at his booth, and you hear him say, "No, look, I'm all done with the show right now. I've got to go to the main tent. Go and see something else." And he storms off out of his wagon, out of his prep area.
I got a 23.
Okay. As you hear him doing this and you're kind of looking about, you all of a sudden hear something coming from the coastal side. And going and taking a look, you see what appears to be four creatures that seem to be kind of working their way up, harpoons in hand, and creeping toward the canvas-covered tents, or canvas-covered carts.
Can I try to distract the Leonin to help them?
No,
Okay.
because the Leonin isn't aware of it either. As you're watching them kind of creep up.
No, I'm saying, like, if I were to see him, like, turn towards them or start to turn towards them, could I try to, speak to him again? Like, oh, hi again! That sort of thing, like that, to keep his attention this way.
Go ahead and roll a deception check.
Where am I in relation to the aquatic creature?
You're probably still working the crowd as they start filtering in. So Pearl is on the opposite side of the tent of where you are. So you would not be aware of this.
And this is only if I need to. Like, I'm just, like, around, and if he happens to start looking that way, that'll do it. It's a deception of a 12.
Yeah. He isn't distracted by you. And as the four creatures creep up and take a position, and they throw their harpoons at the Leonin, puncturing him in several spots, and he lets out a scream.
Oh, wow.
And other people start to notice as 4 marrow have crept out from the shore and are attacking. And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Oh, I thought we left the marrow at Dark Tunnel.
No. You can thank that marrow by the trickster. Sorry it took me an hour to get to it, but I knew I would get to it.
Oh, is it like a random encounter or something?
Yep. Trickster
Oh,
bought a
lovely.
wandering
See, I thought they were,
monster,
like,
so
after-
brought it in. We have some marrow that are attacking.
See, I thought because I don't know what's under the tarps. I thought they were trying to save the stupid people that are under the tarps.
That's a very good theory. We will find out next week on whether or not that theory is right.
Yep.
So let me real quick make a note. And I want to thank everyone in the chat for watching and hanging out with us. Thank you to all of my cast for spending their Saturday night with us. Tune in next week to find out what happens with these marrow and this carnival and all of this shady shenanigans. Quick shout out for Sirenscape for the background music and soundboards that we've been listening to. And if you enjoy the content we're putting out for you, please consider going over to patreon.com/scuba studio and joining as a patron there. Patrons get behind the scene access. They also get early access to videos that we post up on YouTube, as well as updates for what I'm currently working on in the studio. It's a great way to support us. Thank you for all the subs and bits and channel points that have been given. Lebanez, thank you for that resub, 6-month sub. Awesome. Thank you for the bits. Hope you all had a great time watching. I know it was kind of a slow burn in most RP, but you know what? That's what D&D is. It's storytelling. It's all kinds of shenanigans. Yeah, I think that's, yeah. So, you guys have a great night, great weekend, great week. Tune in on our YouTube channel on Friday for these videos to be out if you want to recap on what happens before we get into the next session. And with that, have a great night. We'll see you later. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Night, guys.